Brian Cooper Jr. here with Logan Paulson, and we have the pleasure of welcoming in our brand new GM, Adam Peters. Adam, how you doing today, sir?
Doing great. How you doing?
Oh, we're blessed, man. So happy to have you here, man. What a 24 hours you have had. You get off the plane from San Fran and you come to a winter wonderland, right?
Yeah.
Then you have your introductory press conference where you were named the GM, man. How has this 24 hours been in your words?
It's been surreal. It's been incredible. It's been an honor. It's been the whole gamut of emotions. But I can't be more excited to be here with you guys, to be here with this organization. It's unbelievable.
Man, I know you're excited, but we are extremely excited.
I'm more.
More? I don't know. The Commander fans are very, very excited because this offseason you were a hot commodity. A lot of places wanted you. What about that conversation you had with Josh Harris made you say, this is home?
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot, and it was really my research beforehand in understanding what type of community this is, what type of area, the DMV. It's our nation's capital. This is a historic franchise. It's just a place that's ready to explode. And so seeing all that, the great amount of draft picks, the cap space, and then speaking with Josh, and that was incredible, and hearing his vision and seeing how our visions aligned. And right after that meeting, I joked around. I was like, I blew it, I think, in terms of all my leverage. I didn't even take any other interviews, and that was a testament to how great I felt about here. And nothing against those other teams, are fantastic, incredible organizations, but it just says so much about this organization and what this means not only to myself but the entire NFL. This organization is a cornerstone franchise that I'm proud to be a part of.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Is there anything like, obviously I think people are more familiar with the coaches and what they go through when they're looking for jobs. Is there anything that as a GM you're like, man, I really think ownership or the roster, or what you mentioned the research, what is the kind of the behind the veil of that, and what made you settle here in Washington?
Yeah, I think it starts with the franchise and the ownership, and then whatever the other thing is in the situation for that particular team. And this was a clean slate in a lot of ways, but not just a clean slate, but a great group of people to be working with. So when you have all that and then it all aligns, it's very rare. And so you can't ask for anything more in my position, and I'm thrilled.
Now, a few times in the intro presser, Josh Harris called you a winner. He said, this man is a winner. You have that respect around the NFL, but a lot of people might not know, you started off in JUCO as a walk-on at UCLA. So to hear the NFL call you, this guy is a winner, man, how cool is that? Is that a full circle moment for you?
It's very humbling. It's really more about who I've been around and what I've been able to be a part of. I've been very fortunate, but you're right, I didn't start off like this, and I started off and I worked for everything. I will say that. I started off and didn't get any great scholarships out of high school, so I went to JUCO. I didn't get any great scholarships out of JUCO, so I walked on at UCLA, and I grinded through that, and I grinded through New England, which is a grind, I'll tell you that. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. So to come full circle, to be here, I've been extremely fortunate to be around so many winning franchises, and to be a part of that. I've been very fortunate, and I will impart all those things that I learned there here in Washington.
One of the things you talked about in your presser was successes and failures, right? And how you have to learn from both, and how it's easier to learn, maybe when it doesn't go so well. Do you have a specific example of something where you're like, man, I wish I would have done X differently, or this worked out better than I thought it would, that you could share with the fans?
Specific examples, there's a lot of them.
I'm sure there are. I mean, you've worked for 21 years, man.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, I think all of those you have to. I'm not going to answer your question directly. I'm going to give you the runaround here, but I think it's more of a generality. Great. I think you really have to challenge yourself when you do something wrong, when you understand, when you've made a mistake, to really understand why you made that mistake. And it's usually because of your process and re-examining your process and understanding, okay, these are the steps that we could have taken to make a better decision, and learn from those things. And then just like when you're a player, right? So your coaches don't want you to make the same mistake twice. They can live with you making a mistake as long as you don't repeat it. And that's just like anything in life. If you learn from those mistakes and make them into a positive next time.
Love that.
When you talk about those obstacles, when we look at your resume, it doesn't look like there's many bad points. There's a lot of winning going on. You have been part of championship cultures. How has all that experience with winning helped you in this role that you're currently in now?
Yeah, I walked into New England and we won Super Bowls my first 2 years.
Because you were there, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, this is easy. But then it took another 10 years to get one in Denver, and then we went. But we've gone, and it's very hard to get there. It's very hard to win it.
Yeah.
But your question, what can you take from that? Is that what you asked? I'm sorry, I kind of lost.
Basically, what you can bring from those winning cultures here to Washington.
Yeah, I know what it looks like. I know what it looks like. I know what the ingredients are. Like Logan, you've been on winning teams, and it's really the people, it's the players, it's everybody pulling in the same direction, everybody aligned, and then ultimately your leadership group, whether it's your head coach, your GM, your owner, or in the case of a locker room, your best players. They set the culture, and everybody else gets in line. And when your best players are setting the culture, that's when you know you got it rolling. And I've seen that at 3 different places now, and that's the goal, and that's what we're going to build here.
You talk about setting the culture, and I think that's a word that gets thrown around a lot, and I'm sure it's really hard to build the culture. But as a talent evaluator, as a guy that's going to do some evaluation in free agency, the draft, obviously, how do you identify those cultural pieces that fit that identity, that fit that winning culture? Is there something specifically you're looking for?
Yeah, first you have to identify it, right? And that comes from getting together with the coaching staff and the head coach and myself and his staff and our staff and personnel, analytics, the ownership. What are we looking for in a commander? What are the characteristics of a commander? And then we set out to find those things, and that's where the scouting staff comes in. And those guys, I know they've been working their tails off. We're trying to find young players who fit into that, and so we're going to identify those things for our scouts, and they're going to bring us players that fit into that, both in terms of a talent perspective and then like you're saying, a cultural perspective or character perspective. And those are the guys that we want as commanders.
You talk about the personnel. We hear all the time, this guy is personable. He takes time to get to know the players, to talk to the players, to be in their face. Why is that so important to you in your leadership abilities? Why do you want to be in front of the players like that?
I think it's important with anybody to establish a connection with somebody you're working with every single day, and to have a trust, to have a bond, to be able to have hard conversations. And I think that's by being around someone every day, them knowing that you have their back and their best interests, and that takes time to earn. I think the days of having personnel and coaches over here and then players over here, those days are over, and I don't think they were ever right to begin with. And so to be able to have that relationship with our players where we can have the great times together and then go through hard times together and come out of it the same way, that's really, really important to me. And that's something that I've learned a lot in San Francisco through John Lynch, through Kyle Shanahan. They really showed me that and the importance of that. And this thing's too hard to be going at each other and to not really enjoy those things together and create great relationships.
And you talk about the relationships, and a big part of that, as you said, traditionally the scouts are over here, the coaches are over here, and obviously you've been very open about how you want to have a great relationship with that coach, and that's the next kind of big step. High-level thoughts, but like, what are you kind of looking for in that hire? And obviously, it sounds like personal relationship is going to be a big part of that.
Yeah, personal relationship with myself and relationship with the whole building. And his vision is his vision aligned with ours?
Sure.
And so that's the next step of this process, identifying those traits that we're looking for, identifying those qualities, and then finding the best candidate that fits those. So yeah, it's going to be a great process. It's going to be a fun process, and we have some really, really good people that we want to talk to, and we're going to find a great coach to lead this team.
And this is like a quick follow-up. Have you been a part of a coaching hire before? Because I feel like you've kind of jumped to spots that have had established coaches already.
Now, this is my first one.
Exciting, man.
Yeah, it's really
exciting.
The great thing about it is we have some great people that have been through that with us, and I'm going to lean on all the smart people I can to come make these decisions, and that's who has gotten me to this point, is leaning on really smart people that are willing to help, and that's what I'm going to continue to do.
You've proven to be able to find talent not only in the first round, but in the very last pick of the draft, right? And we're very lucky. We have 5 picks in the first 2 days of the draft. How valuable are those picks in your words?
They're all very valuable. Every last one of them, I'm telling you, they're all very valuable. But in order to be successful in the draft, it's about that process, and it's about what you were just talking about, having coaches and scouts and analytics, R&D, whatever you want to call it, everything on the same page and everybody working together, communicating with each other. This is what we're looking for. Okay, does this guy fit us? No, why not? And then telling each other and showing each other and just having that constant dialogue, that constant communication where we're all one. And so when we make a decision, we come out of that room unified. And so it's not the coaches pick guy, not the scouts pick that guy. We're all in that together, and throughout the whole time that player's with us.
Well, just know you're in it together with the Commanders family as well. We're all a family here. We're so excited to have you. We're not going to hold you much longer because we know you're a busy man. We know you have moves to make. But what I want you to do right now, I'm going to put you on the spot, right? That's your ISO camera right there. I want you to look at the Commanders fans and tell them why they should be excited about the new era and what's to come.
Commanders fans, I am so excited to be here. I'm going to work tirelessly to make this team a winner. And it's not going to just be me. It's going to be our coach. It's going to be our ownership group. It's going to be everybody in this building. We're going to all be working together, and we're going to put together a team that you guys are going to be proud of for years and years. We're going to compete for championships every year, and we're going to bring one back to the DMV.
Oh, well, Mr. Peters, we are excited. I feel like we
Yeah, I
both want
got
to put our
chills
pads
now,
and our
yeah,
helmets
right?
on right now for you. Thank you so much for taking the time with us on Command Center. We hope to have you in our studio more in the future.
Absolutely,
Thank
man.
you so much for your time, and we can't wait to see what
Thanks
this
a lot,
first year
bro.
holds.
Thanks, Logan.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. It's too far, right? It's like
Yeah, I know it's awkward if you get up there.